Hello class, and welcome to the second day of section 2.8. We will be continuing to look at dimensional analysis with the continued goal of converting quantities and measurements from one unit to another. Today during class I will be giving you this chart with the unit conversions, which will be helpful to you throughout this lesson. So we're going to start off today by converting 6 miles into kilometers. So you're going to go ahead and refer to that chart to figure out how we can convert 6 miles into kilometers. You'll notice that there's two options. One conversion factor that says 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers. And on the other side of the chart, you'll notice a conversion factor that says 1 kilometer is equal to 0.621 miles. I'm going to go ahead and show both examples, but you only need to do one. So for our first option, we're going to say we have 6 miles, and I'm going to trade that in 1 mile at a time. So I'm going to say 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers. We are done with our conversion there because the units of miles and miles cancel out, giving us kilometers to finish. So I'm going to go ahead and do 6 times 1.09, which gives me 9.65 after rounding over 1. And our final answer is 9.605 kilometers. With our second option, again, we're going to start with our 6 miles. And I'm going to plug in this time we're going to use that second conversion factor, and we're going to plug in 0.621 miles is equal to 1 kilometer. Again, we're done after this conversion because our miles cancel each other out. Multiplying the top, 6 times 1 gives me 6, and on the bottom I end up with 0.621. After I divide that out, I'm going to get an answer after rounding of 9.66 kilometers. So notice the answers are very similar, but they're off by 1/100th of a decimal place. When I'm looking at your homework or looking at the test, I will have all of the possible conversions on there, so it doesn't matter which one you pick to do. You will have both options. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Again, this is one of the two options using the 1 ounce is equal to 28.35 grams. If you use the other conversion factor, that is completely okay. Looking at this one now, we've got the average teenager spends $1,742 per year on clothing or fashion-related items. How much is this per week? A new key thing that we have in this problem is the word per. Prior to this problem, we have only ever been plugging information into the top portion of this box. Now that we have the word per, we're going to have something on top and on bottom. The quantity in front of per goes up top, so $1,742. The quantity after per, which is 1 year, goes on the bottom. So when you have 2 units, in this case dollars and years, that's why we have 2 portions set up. Now we're trying to change how much is this per week. We're not trying to convert dollar amounts into anything, but we are trying to get years into weeks. If you look at that top of the chart, I tell you that in 1 year, there are 52 weeks. Notice how, again, my units are lined up diagonally from one another so that they can cancel out. Now, we have dollars per week, which is what we want for our final answer. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top. 1,742 times 1 is 1,742. And on the bottom, 1 times 52 is 52. Then I'm going to go ahead and divide those out, which gives me a final answer of 33.5. But in order to make it proper units, we're going to add that 0 so that it's $33.50 per week. So notice how I included both of my labels, dollars and weeks, as part of my final answer. Go ahead and try this one on your own, remembering that miles to miles is not changing, but hours to minutes is. So we convert 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So we plug in that information, cross out the hour unit, multiply the top and the bottom, and then we go ahead and divide, and we get 12.67 miles per minute. This final problem, we're going to convert the unit both above and below that line. So we are going to start with 176 feet per 1 second. Our goal is to change feet into miles and seconds into hour. You can read either here in the problem or on the top of that chart that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So I'm going to plug that in first and say 5,280 feet, and I'm going to get out 1 mile. So what I turned in and what I got out. Again, those units are going to go ahead and cancel out. We're not done yet though, because I want to turn my seconds into hours. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the top of that chart, and it tells me that there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So even though there's a step in the middle, we can still cancel out seconds and seconds because one is on top and one is on the bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply my values up top. 176 times 1 times 3,600, which is going to give me 633,600. And on the bottom, when I multiply 1 times 5,280 times 1, I get 5,280. I'm going to go ahead and divide those values, and I end up with a final answer of 120 miles per hour. Again, we have that miles unit and the hour unit as part of our answer. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So we go from feet to inches, which is something you should just know that wasn't on your chart. Then we've got inches to centimeters, and then we're going to go from hours to seconds. Multiplying all those values up top, and then multiplying all the values on bottom, dividing to get our final answer of 7.62 centimeters per second. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please let me know when you get to class.